Hello, hi, welcome. I am DM Dan. This is Explorers of Elsewhere. This is specifically Tales from Elsewhere, our episodic Daggerheart actual play live stream. Hello, welcome. If this is the first time you're joining, hi. I am joined by, in quick succession, Nate, Livy, Georgia, Theo, and Dan. Hello, 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 hello.
Hello.
Hello. And we have just begun a new adventure. Our explorers, our 5 explorers here, have descended upon the town, the town of Islebridge, in search of 2 missing young ladies, who are heirs to their family legacies. They're due to inherit their family legacies, but they've gone missing. And there are some suspicions that there is a kidnapping afoot. But everyone's shouting at each other, everyone's really grumpy. There's lots of sprites, which are small, little, elemental infused people. Yeah. It's all happening. Our explorers here are just about to have just set off from Islebridge to some hills, some hilly areas to the north, in search of, following up on a set of clues about some roving bandits that have arrived recently-ish, just in case these bandits have had anything to do with the disappearances of these 2 lovely young girls by the names of Capuline Fisby and Montana Fyram. So, as you chase that lead down, who would like to jump back into it?
Yeah.
Well, let's prep you all with a title screen. All across the unknown world, rediscovery pushes ever onwards to find the lands and people lost. All thanks to our brave explorers.
Hi, I'm Dan, and I'm playing Vanya, the Wolfkin Warrior.
Hey, I'm Livy. I'm going to be playing Rayri, the Sprite Ranger.
Hi, my name's Theo, and I'm playing Cal, the Sangvar Guardian.
I'm Georgia, and I will be playing Alfric Stormhorn, a Dragon Scent Bard.
Hi, I'm Nate, and I'm playing Azakar, a Majani Seraph.
And my name is DM Dan, the GM in these adventures. The further we go, the more we learn of these magical tales from elsewhere. And so, we rejoin the 5 of you some hours journey north of Islebridge. Leaving the town centre, you travelled through the quite spacious fields that you saw a number of sprites, presumably of the Fyram clan, tending to. And as you left their sort of like their farmlands behind, the terrain has become surprisingly more sort of like rugged and rocky. There are well-worn paths which seem to start and end with no rhyme nor reason, which you suspect is a direct result of the calamitous events of the Eschaton, where the terrain, the topography of Elsewhere was violently changed by the wild coruscating magics that were tearing her apart. But the further you get away, the more you all collectively begin to appreciate how the town of Islebridge, which is older than the Eschaton for sure, just seems to have been fortunate enough to have been spared any real devastation as a result of the climax of the War of the Dragons. Just to check in with you, Alfrek, because you've only, this is probably only like your second official explorer mission. Like you've not really spent a lot of time out in the wilderness as such, right?
No, pretty much nothing at all.
Okay.
I think Alfred spent his entire life, more or less, kept indoors. Not imprisoned, but very much not encouraged to leave his family's estate.
Sure. In which case, how do you feel when the path that you're kind of walking along seeming like suddenly comes to a halt, thanks to what appears to be this large chasm that's splitting the terrain that was almost impossible to see as you were approaching it. But on the other side of the chasm, which is many, almost 100 feet across, you notice that the terrain doesn't seem to match the same terrain that you're standing on. Like it's almost like it's a different stone, like a different bedrock. You notice there are chunks of floating debris just kind of hovering across the chasm. Some of the rock on your side, some of the rock on the other side of the chasm. And you notice that on the other side of the chasm, the rock is barren, lifeless. How do you feel seeing what is possibly your first, the first result of the eschaton on the landscape of Elysia?
I think his eyes just light up in the way that they do when he sees anything new in this new life of his. He just stops on the edge of this chasm. And this is amazing. Is everything like this all over?
You're muted, Dan.
Whoops. Apologies. Vanya was saying, pretty much I've traveled across many a terrain, and it's just a mess out there. It's all hickety-pickledy, and there is even that one time when I was just walking through this woods. If I took one step less, I would have been just transported elsewhere, because I just remember just stepping and hearing this odd sound, and I looked behind me, and the step back, the whole place had been just disappeared. This was during the war, and but it's messed up.
It's quite beautiful, I think.
Alfred,
I mean, that too, yeah.
As
you see some crazy things.
As you marvel at its beauty, Alfred, you see that on one of these kind of floating chunks of rock in the chasm, there appears to be two small, like birds, smallish birds. They're clearly completely different kind of species, like genii of bird. One's this kind of plump, white feathered little thing. The other is quite kind of lanky and scrawny with like dark brown plumage, with sweeping tail feathers. And like they're just kind of sat kind of cooing and warbling in close proximity to one another, almost as if they're kind of sharing this rock between them. But Vanya, with your sort of like wilderness experience, you quickly acknowledge that these are two species that have never, like, the brown feathered bird is clearly not native to this area. But yeah, and as you kind of watch these two birds, a cloud passes overhead, revealing the kind of murkish sky overhead. And like a shadow is cast from a winged beast, like a leathery winged beast that flaps overhead, and the two birds both look up and then fly off in different directions, as this horned swooper just kind of arcs overhead and then disappears back above the clouds. When Vanier, you acknowledge that the horned swooper is also not native to this, clearly not native to this area, this climate, this biome.
Like I said, it's all higgledy-piggledy now. So even the local animals are not your local animals anymore. It's all mixed around. I think what you'll find is everything is just trying to see where it fits in the natural order of the new realm.
I understand that feeling.
Well, you got us watching your back. Pass you on the back.
You carry on your journey for another kind of hour and a half, give or take, when you notice that the terrain is definitely starting to climb, like you're definitely ascending up inclines, and for those of you who are more comfortable with the wilderness, you realize that these kind of more jagged like hills would be a perfect spot for someone who's kind of living, like to hide in a sense, who is living out in the wild. And sure enough, it's probably Azakar. Azakar and Cal, you both notice like figures watching you from like vantage points in the hills. And this would seem to be the areas of the area that was given described to you by the sheriff of Islebridge as where the bandits had taken residence.
How do you want to handle this?
We're definitely not alone now. I say we keep going, be prepared.
As you press on towards the signs of like living, as you glance around, you can see every so often that there are like scorched earth scorched by campfires that's been kind of brushed over. You can see the trails are a lot more kind of used as you pick your way through these hills, and in the hills there are a number of sort of like cave entrances by the looks of it. You pass what appears to be a cairn of some sort, which Rayri, through your travels, you recognise to be inscribed with keeper glyphs of preservation and remembrance. And before long, you hear a voice kind of ring across the hills. Halt! Who goes there? And you turn to look to see a single figure kind of stood at the crest of a hill, like one hand on a raised knee, like one foot on a rock, one hand on the knee, and the other hand confidently holding the pommel of a sword that's sheathed at the belt. The figure looks like a Lorivar man from this distance, wearing warm furs to kind of fend off the cold that's been more and more biting the further away you get from Islebridge. What brings you to our lands?
I was like, Alfred is not talking. Alfric is not.
Oh, you're muted, Georgia.
Oh?
Oh, no, you're not.
He was definitely about to start talking.
Yeah, literally. I think Cal
Okay.
look right round at Alfric, and like there's a face of thunder, as if to be like, do not dare open your mouth right now.
The figure shouts, "You! The dragon said you look talkative. Why have you come here?"
Definitely nothing to do with the kidnapping.
We mean not to intrude. We've come here to just ask questions.
You say that, and like there's a pause, there's a silence, and well, I guess that will make this easy then. And there are 5 of you. I will roll a d10. A d10. No, this is d12. A d10. Roll. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Vanier, you hear like the sound of whistling as you look up to see an arrow arcing down towards you. That is a 14 to hit, Vanya.
Yes, it hits my evasion.
Okay. In which case, as this arrow soars towards you, Vanya, you're not able to kind of duck out the way quick enough, and we're going to immediately begin fight music.
Damage?
There we go. You hear the sounds. You hear a horn blare out as the arrow strikes you. It deals. Where am I looking? I'm looking here. 28 plus 5. So one of them. Oh no. 2d8. Ooh, 2d56. 2d8. 20 damage.
Wait, damage from a blinking.
It's a spicy meatball.
I'm going to I think I'm just gonna use this. Why not is probably a good time as any. Do I want to do that? Yeah, no, I do. I'm going to use my ability Scramble, which when in... Oh no, never mind. Ignore me, because it's to do with melee range, not ranged attacks. So yeah, that just hits my severe threshold with 20. So I'm going to spend an armor slot to bring it down to a major.
Okay, that's 2 damage. 2 hit points.
Yep.
Big oof. Okay. So, yeah, Vanya, you are rocked as this arrow embeds in you. So we're in initiative. I've attacked from hiding. Who of the 5 of you is going first? To spell it out, the figure on the hill that's been kind of shouting to you is kind of very far away from you, but because of the terrain up, it's going to take like 2 sets of movement to get to him. But yeah, there are clearly others hiding in the area around you.
There's 2 of us in the group, I believe, who have the Ridgeborn community background, which is the feature steady. You have advantage on rolls to traverse dangerous cliffs and ledges. navigate harsh environments, and use your survival knowledge, and then another bit. But so yeah, just want to throw that as a worth noting.
In which case, yeah, because you can push yourselves to go further than normal with agility checks. So, for argument's sake, if you pass an agility check, you would get advantage. Well, if you roll an agility check to try and close the distance quicker, you get advantage on that, for example. As Chris has quite rightly identified, you're mountain goats. So yes, who's going first as Vanier is rocked onto one foot by this arrow slamming into him?
I think Riri, at the sight of an arrow, hops onto the back of Vinny. One fluid motion, gets out a crossbow straight onto the back of Vinny, and we are off. How far is the guy that we've been talking to? Very far, right?
Very far, yeah. But he's also uphill. So yeah, if you want to, you could close the distance in a single turn with like a sprint, if you will, which will require an agility check. Otherwise, you'll get about halfway.
But how far is my? Okay, so it's very far. So short bow's far. Yeah, I mean, I would like to do an agility check to see if I can get within far range.
Yeah.
Or at least range that I can shoot him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, so if you, what's the range of your bow, your crossbow?
Far.
Okay, so I mean, you could move just normally, and then you'd be in range. So yeah,
let's go to far range then, please. Okay. I will move to far range.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm gonna rolly to hitty.
So shooting at the like the bandit on the hill.
The one I can see.
Yep, no worries. So that is a 13 on dice.
Plus 16.
So 16 with fear. That is a hit.
And it's a 15 damage.
15 damage. Okay. In which case, as you like you jump on Vinny, and then with a surprising speed you launch up the hill, and is it a bow or a crossbow? Sorry.
It's more of a crossbow. Like small enough that she can.
Sure. In which case, as you fire this crossbow, like the bandit in front of you, like rocks back as this bolt strikes him in the sort of like the pec, and he he disappears out of sight as he kind of collapses backwards. And like as you peer up to see, like, you know, what's happened to him, you then watch as he resurfaces, and off the back of your fear, I will activate him, and he kind of emerges from behind the shrubs that you kind of knocked him behind, with a horn and with a you spy movement from 3 locations around you, as 3 figures kind of burst from the undergrowth, who are sort of like laid flat with cloaks over them to disguise them, and 2 individuals have emerged pretty much next to you, Rayri, wielding daggers, and then a third appears behind the rest of you, so slightly downhill from you. I will summon those lackeys, and that is that. So yeah, Rayri, you've got 2 combatants close to you, everyone else there far from you, but you've also got someone close to you as you're in that group. Yeah, that's it for me. I might You know what? I'm going to spend a fear. Why not? Why the dickens not? So I go down to 4 fear, and another arrow fires out from the undergrowth. This is a 9 to hit versus 1, 2, 3. Alfric, does a 9 hit your evasion?
It's less than my evasion.
Okay, in which case an arrow like bounces off the stone in front of your foot, as what appears to be, and this arrow seems to have come from a different direction to the one that struck Vanier. Who's going next?
Do you say is there anyone around us in close range? Or is it
So yeah, an individual of ill repute has effectively emerged from the terrain behind you, so it is within sort of like 15-ish feet of you, so close range, and then mobbing Rayri a bit up the hill is, and there are another 2.
Can I hit the one in close range?
Yep.
With arcane barrage.
Barrage. Okay. What does that sound like?
Shoot magical projectiles that automatically strike an enemy within close range. Roll an amount of d6 equal to the hope you spend.
Oh. Well. How many d6 are you spending?
I think I've not got many hope.
You've got 2.
I've got 1 hope. I've got 2 hope.
2 hope.
I will spend a hope to get 1 hope.
Okay.
And I will deal a d6.
Okay. How much damage is your d6?
Should I roll?
Roll in Foundry. Yeah.
Foundry.
So if you click on under the chat box in the bottom right,
I see.
yeah, you can click on the square for the d6.
Yeah, there he is.
Ooh, spicy 6. In which case, yeah, you as you panic as this arrow ricochets off the stone in front, the rock in front of your foot, and then like as you spin round, like as you're kind of moving away from it, you see this like third figure, jump up from the ground, like jump out from behind the rock and like run at you with waving a dagger, and as you like, what did your arcane barrage look like?
I imagine he's still got his violin strapped to his back, but I imagine he manages to grab his the bow, and just like swipe it at this advancing figure, and it looks like sort of 6 musical notes that like jab.
Okay. In which case, for anyone that's looking, you watch as these 6 musical notes like embed into 6 parts of this like charging Lorivar's torso, and he's flung from his feet and like collapses to his back, and then just like unceremoniously rolls down the hill, just like smacking into every rock and like bush branch on the way down. And when he finally comes to a halt, he's not moving. You've defeated the surprise bandit. You didn't need to roll, so you know what, we'll say another one of you can go again.
I'd like to run at the bandit at the top.
Okay. Yep. So I will require an agility check if you want to get to him in one go. Alternatively, if you don't want to do an agility, you can catch up with Rayri and deal with the 2 bandits that are flanking her.
That's true. Let's tell you what. Let's deal with what's attacking Rayri, because I think that's very like him. Anyway.
Okay.
I would like to use my whirlwind ability.
Yes.
So makes me want to get into very close range with these 2 that are about to attack Rayri, and I can make an attack roll against a target using a weapon with melee at very close range. On a success, you may spend a hope to use that roll against every other enemy in that weapon's range.
Okay.
So I want to try and take on both of them.
Yep. In which case, by the time you get up to them, they've sort of like convened on Ravi's position, so they're pretty much shoulder to shoulder.
Cool. And because I now have, so whilst I was away with Alfric, I got a broadsword to go with my dagger, so I can do a paired attack. So now when I it's a +5 as I use a broadsword and a dagger to hit. So
Okay.
if I roll my usual dice +5. Okay, cool. So that's a 15 with fear.
15 with fear. That is...
Sorry, it's more than that. It's it's a 13, 14, 15, 16, 18 with fear.
The +5, I believe, is the damage roll.
Nope, that's just to... No, because it's my +4 for agility and +2 for finesse. They're part of my sword attack.
Sorry, I get you. Okay. Well, yes, that is very much a hit. Fine. Absolutely.
Cool. So yeah, and I can spend a hope to roll. So when I do the damage now, yes, I can use that damage on the second attacker. So
it'll be half damage to the second attacker.
Not That's according to my whirlwind.
If you read the last sentence, because I got the same ability.
Take half damage, rounded up. Okay, cool. That's fine. It's still damage at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Very cool. So it's 2d6. Oh, sorry, ignore me. That's not right. It's 2d8. There's 8. So 2d8 plus 3 for the broadsword attack. That's 15, and then the dagger is 2d8 plus 2. So that's 25 damage, and then
no, in terms of when you're using weapons, you can only make with one. You can only damage with one of those weapons.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Sorry, my mistake. So it's the first one then, plus...
And then I think the dagger then gives you... It's then plus 5.
The extra bonus.
Yeah.
Oh, my mistake. I'm so sorry, guys.
That's right.
No, we're all learning.
So, tell you what, let's take the first... If we take the first roll, which was a 15, and then add another 2 onto it, so 17?
Yeah.
17, okay. Theo, describe to me in vivid detail what you do to these two schmucks.
Oh, I obliterate them. No, I think...
I mean, yes.
if I'm... I think, like, the idea of them attacking Ray would upset me. So I think Cal literally leaps forward, brings... I think he stabs with the second dagger and then swipes with the broadsword. I'm pretty sure the limbs are off. Like, I think both heads roll on these two bandits before they even get a chance to be upset about being stabbed.
Yeah.
Jimmy's like, not blood on the new boots! Not the new boots, Cal!
Yeah, you obliterate them so hard we revert to like original Mortal Kombat 3 where like multiple skulls and rib cages come out of them. Okay, very, very good. Yes, Ray, in a whirlwind, like you've spent a lot of time seeing Cal running around with a long sword that like he was holding two-handed, but now wielding a broadsword and the dagger that was used as the murder weapon at the mansion. He giblets these two bandits. Very good, Theo. Yeah, the two bandits are no more. However, I will step in off the back of your fear, and I will act. Well, I take a thingy. I take a what's it. So I go up to 5 fear, and then I will activate. And I'm going to... So, at the sight of this blender of a Asavar that's just torn through some bandits, there is some movement you notice to your collective lefts as a figure kind of emerges out from behind a rock with a bow, who then sort of like takes a few steps and then fires another shot at you directly, Cal. We're gonna roll a d20 -1, a 15 to hit.
Now 15 hits.
15 hits. In which case, whilst this the shots, you assume that this person with a bow is probably the one that shot Vanier, but whilst they're on the move without the benefit of cover, it's not as devastating a shot. It's 12 damage, Cal.
12 damage. Yep, I'm going to use one of my armor slots. So my armor would then go down, I assume, based on our new rules. But yeah, it only means I take 1 HP.
Cool, perfect. The arrow then kind of glances off you as your armor absorbs some of the blow. I pass back to everyone else. Who wants to go next? Vanier or Azakar?
Azakar is... How far did you say the guy at the top is?
Is very far away from you. You can get there in one sprint if you pass an agility check.
Let's do that then. Let's give it a go.
Now that the archer has broken cover, they are also very far, but in a different direction.
Okay. I'm going to make an agility check and go after Loki at the top. That's a 6.
That's a 6 with hope.
Oh, it's a 7. A 7 with
hope. 7 with hope. So, on the plus side, you get hope.
Yeah.
On the downside, you don't, like, the rock, your footing keeps on slipping out from underneath you as you try to scale up the side of this cliff, and, like, arrows are kind of being shot in your direction. You have to kind of duck for cover to avoid them. You manage to catch up with Cal and Rayri. So, both the archer and the figure that Rayri shot are far from you.
Am I still allowed to make an attack?
Yes, although there's... Oh yeah, if you've got... Yeah, they're within 5 if you've got far ranged attacks.
I'll use my bolt beacon then to do a nice little lightning bolt at him.
The one who was shouting at you, or the archer?
The guy who was shouting at us.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, come on.
I'm very tired.
I've had enough of this. It's been a long day.
Mountain. Not good at mountain. I come from desert. You do not have hills.
To a mountain.
What's the grand total?
That would be a 10.
10. Well, you know what, Nate? It's the thought that counts. You know?
Oh, can I add my prayer dice to that to make it 12?
Do you think it's worth it?
No.
I mean, it could be worth it. You never know.
I'm not going to risk it.
Okay. Very good. So I go up to 6 of 12. Fear. Very, very good. So I will then activate the from somewhere you hear someone grunt as they mark a stress, and an arrow fires out towards you, Nate, maybe to put you out your misery.
We can only hope.
So if you attack from hidden, rolls against you. Oh, it's just disadvantage. Okay, fine. Right, one attack roll. Bam! That's an 8. Okay, so then an arrow like ricochets off.
I was going to say that meets it, beats it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well then. Well then. In actual fact, then you will take 2d8 plus 5. 2d8 plus 5 damage. You will take 14 damage as this arrow like hits you in the right side. So there seems to be a hidden archer to your right.
I will mark off an armor slot to make that minor damage.
Very good. I will pass back. It's time for some Vanya.
After recoiling from the shot and everyone going in their different directions, I'm going to go for one of the fire targets. Is the guy who was talking to us, does he look like probably the same capabilities as the other grunts, or does he look a bit more well-equipped?
Well, I guess it's a bit difficult to say because currently he's got like a foot of metal sticking out of his chest from Rayri's bolt. I will also remind that where you're currently stood, you assume it to be the leader, and the archer are currently very far from you. But yeah, if you move to catch up, then they'll be far.
I thought they were fire. I was still going to make an agility roll to get there, but...
So you can make an agility roll to get there in one go, if you so wish. Because you can move to far, normal.
Yeah, and I've got advantage on the roll because I got the terrain experience.
Yeah, so effectively this will be... Yeah, you can vault up the side of the mountain if you pass the agility.
Yeah, I'll make an agility roll. Have I got anything? Where's my... just double checking what stuff I've got. Yeah, I won't spend it on that now. Yeah, so I'm going to make an agility roll +2. I got advantage with the d6. So I'm going to make my roll. Plus a d6. So there's 10, 8, so 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Okay. In which case you rip up the side of the mountain past Azakar, Rayri and Vinny and Cal, leaving Alfric like in the dust behind you. Alfric, you just watch as Vanya's sort of like bouncing off rocks to... it looks like a rock climb, but the walls, it's a slope. But yeah, Vanya, you managed to, in a surprising burst of speed, just emerge in front of the bandit that first kind of shouted to you. He looks surprised as he kind of recoils back from you, and he's trying to pull this bolt out of his chest. But I will... you're face to face.
Yeah, and I'm gonna sock him.
Okay.
As I go into like a feral punch.
I'm
assuming the other chap is not within very close.
No, so the other archer that is visible is far from you.
Okay. Let me just get my abilities out. Do I want to spend... if this guy looks like a leader of sorts, and I get this ability once per short rest. Yeah, once per short rest, you can apply all your focus towards a single target. Choose that target. So this is going to be my target. I get a +1 bonus to my proficiency.
Okay.
I don't know how easy or hard this guy is, but he looks like the leader.
Falcon punch!
So I'm going to make my attack roll. I'm going to spend a hope to use one of my experiences, Thrill of the Hunt, as I get pumped from the excitement of the battle, as I almost like a wolf, just clambering up the hill on all fours up to this guy and leap in the air as I rocket down with a punch. So that's +3. Okay, so I get a plus. So this is going to be made with +6 to hit. Oh, crit!
Okay, so that's max damage, and then you roll again, right?
Yep, because I've also made this, I got that +1 bonus to my proficiency, so that's 30 points of damage plus an extra 3d10 +3.
This guy's going in the sun.
So yeah, Chris in the chat is just, is this guy going to disappear into nothing after this punch? Now he is. That's
and because I gain a hope.
Yeah.
From
so
that
you're back
hit.
up to 5. Yeah.
But no, I'm not gonna do that.
You gonna Slayer dice?
I'm gonna put that on my Slayer dice, which I can then spend on this damage.
Yeah.
Which then gives me. But because it's a crit, that's technically 36 points plus 3d10 plus d6.
Just red mist at this point.
Yeah.
We're actually all dead. It's just a nuclear bomb. It's gone off.
There was Chris in the chat earlier mentioned, does Vanya punch the mountain? Yes.
Right, so that's 3d10 plus 1d6 plus 3. So that's 36 plus 28. What's that?
So 56. Wait.
63?
So 36
no, it's
plus 28.
36 plus 28.
64. 68.
64.
66 damage.
66 points
So
of magical damage.
No, it is 64. Because if it was
64?
if it was 36 plus 30, that'd be 66 minus 2, 64.
Yeah. That's right. So
64.
64 points of magical damage as this as I leap from the sky to stop him with the full force of this blizzardy wind coming out of my gauntlet as I just tear him asunder.
Daniel. Man's got a severe rating of 14.
Oh, so double that.
Yeah.
64. You are nearly 5 times over.
So
Obliterate this man.
So dead?
So that's 3 damage.
No, it's not 3 damage.
4. Well, no, he's only got 3 hit points left, Dan.
Oh, okay.
In which case, yeah, the sound of the wind ripping off you as you fly up the side of the mountain almost sounds bestial. And the last thing that this poor schmuck sees is you anime pose, fist up in the air, just perspective warping away from him as your arm gets further and further back. Just punching the bolt further into his chest probably would have been enough, but in the milliseconds after, the rib cage just shatters into sand as the blow cracks his rib cage, and he if this was Skyrim, he would have flown backwards, hit the floor, and then boom, gone into orbit. Yeah, he is absolutely pulped. His chest looks like a bloody fruit bowl. By the time he stops, flapping away from the blow. Congratulations. And
I just turn around and look at the next person who's closest, and with that feral look.
Yes.
You might want to drop your weapons.
So, but you did roll a 20-something with fear, right? When you were climbing up?
Yeah, that was with... No, wait, no. Sorry, it was with fear climbing up.
Yeah.
But then obviously this...
Crit.
I got the crit from the attack.
In which case, as you sort of land over the frankly shattered form of this lieutenant, you, bandit leader, you look up and see that just sort of over the crest of the hill, a little bit further down, there's just a bandit holding a very gruesome and intimidating looking club, and there's a moment where your eyes meet, and he looks to you. He looks to the stain that was his boss, and then he looks back to you, and then he just sort of like drops the club on the ground, and then just runs. Yes, I'm out. He just I'll see you later. He makes a break for it. Like you see the archer that's broken cover is just gonna look at where you going. He shouts as this thug just bolts it as the senses of preservation kick in. Very good. Who wants to go next? There appears to be 2 more combatants. One of them is in the open, the archer. A second archer is kind of hiding.
Where's the archer
that you can see? So the 2 of them are at far range. Well, the one you can see is far range, up and away from you. So to approach them would kind of take you away from the other one that's been pinging shots, but yeah, it's currently far.
Okay. Rayri, who is in close range of Cal, looks at Cal. She gets up and she stands on the top of Vinny. She says, just try something. And
You could have bounced off me.
Yeah, she just like jumps with her 2 feet, with her little tippy tap boots, and just pings off of Cal into the air whilst she's shooting down at this guy with her crossbow, and just does like an aerial, like, boom, and just.
Very good, very good.
So I'm going to mark a stress to do a boost shot.
Okay.
Which is just the best new ability that I have. And let's make this 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19.
That is a hit towards the archer.
Fabulous.
With fear, so I will take.
Oh, I have advantage on the attack, actually, so let me just do that one again. Sorry, didn't realise that also gave me advantage. 12. 13.
Well, advantage is plus d6.
Oh, sorry, plus d6. I forget how it works.
So, yeah, kill that one. Go. So, yeah, still very a hit.
Yeah, still very much a hit. Fab. I roll for damage. So it's gonna be 2 d6 and a d10. 3. 17 damage.
Okay. In which case, as you springboard off Cal, much presumably to Cal's disgust, as you kind of soar through the air, I'm imagining motes of Link, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, where you're like go slow-mo when you're aiming in midair. Where do you strike this, fatally strike this archer?
Right between the eyes.
Okay, so as you fire the crossbow and you kind of watch its trajectory, it strikes this kind of lanky Laravar, but square between the eyes, and he just sort of like bends backwards unnaturally as the bolt kind of casts him into the rocky terrain. And there's a big plume of dust as he hits the deck.
And I land within close range of where he was standing. So then I land where he was.
Okay.
That's the thing. Like, the whole thing is that you do an aerial attack.
Olympic landing.
Far too close. Yeah, and you just... and then I just do a double thumbs up at Cal.
Okay, very, very good. In which case, as you rolled with fear, I will step in, and there's another point of stress is spent, and actually no, there is no stress to be spent. Having seen his accomplice shot down, the second sniper breaks cover and is going to shoot at, we'll roll random, 1, 2, 3. So unfortunately this is also being shot at Alfric again. Clearly you are the brains of this operation. So it's a
Must be taken down.
D20 minus 1. Get the squishy one. 18 to hit.
I'm pretty certain that hits, yes. Yes, that definitely hits.
That definitely hits. Okay, so this sniper is on the move. So it's 9 damage.
So I can spend an armor
Yeah.
to
bring it. Are you within major or minor with that
it's
number?
within major, I think. So there's a 6 and an 18.
So it's within your major threshold between those two numbers. And using your armor slot will bring it down to the minor, so you only take 1 hit point of damage.
Yes, I will do that.
Grand, okay. So an arrow kind of wings you and kind of your armor absorbs some of the blow, but it still smarts like hell as the shot lands. But yeah, this sniper looks like he's trying to make a break for it, and it's just sort of like shooting and then scampering away. Who wants to go next?
Whereabouts is this archer?
So in comparison to you lot, he's now at like far range, but in the opposite direction to where Ravi's just gone.
Okay. I was wondering if I could sprint to get into close range with him.
Yeah. If you want to roll an agility to see if you can parkour over the rocks to catch up.
I will do that. I have agility of +3, which is just... Oh, that's a pretty good roll. So it's 25 with fear.
Okay. So you do make a scarper, but as you vault over one of the rocks, worrying, you have kind of left it behind before it has a chance to happen. But Alfric, it'll be Azakar, and it'll be Azakar actually. So Azakar, you watch as a rock that Cal's just kind of vaulted over dislodges and begins rolling down the hill towards you. As this boulder loosens and starts rolling down. So we'll introduce that into the fray. But Cal, you have managed to catch up with the archer.
Cool. I'd like to hit him.
Okay.
We have. So I'll try and do this properly this time. Apologies for the last time.
That's all right. That's all right.
It's so basically I'm going to pair the weapons, so the broadsword and the small dagger.
Yep.
So I think
I'm
trying to work it out.
Sharpening them.
So I think I can roll. So my primary weapon is a +4 for agility.
Yeah.
And then my secondary weapon is a +2. But obviously, would I only roll the primary and then add? If I hit, then add.
Yeah. So effectively.
+3. Okay.
Yeah, you make an attack with your broadsword, and then you do a knee with the dagger as well.
Sure. Just wanted to double check I understood. That's fine. So I'm gonna. Cool. So let's do broadsword attack. That's shit. Okay. Have I got anything to...
9 plus, so you're up to 13 if you've got a +4.
Yeah, I do have a +4. I just wanted to double check there wasn't anything. Okay, we'll stick with the 13 and see if it hits.
A 13 hits.
Oh, great. That's great, because I also want to use Versatile Fighter.
Okay.
So, which is one of my new abilities, which says when dealing damage, you may mark a stress to take the maximum value of one of your damage die instead of rolling it.
Okay.
So my damage die would be 2d8 plus 5 now because of the weapon.
The dagger, yeah.
So that's automatically 16 plus 5.
Yeah.
So 21.
So 16. So 21 damage.
Okay. Describe to me in YouTube appropriate manner what you do to this poor chap.
So this guy is the one who keeps firing arrows at Alfric and everyone else. Okay. I think like there's something about Cal recently, and I think as part of his vengeance subclass, and I think without his kind of understanding it, the spell render, like finding the spell render and everything to do with it, has kind of fed into. He's just a lot more angry when he's fighting at the moment. He never used to be, and now he's just like he gets very aggressive with it. So I think he literally tears this man in two, like from like it's like between his legs up into his chest, and then runs the dagger through and pushes him back. And then I feel like I think Cal's terrified of himself. And then like the body goes down, and there's like I think Cal is not having a great time.
Okay. In which case, for those of you, so some of you might not be able to see what's just happened, but all you hear is the sound of two wet slaps as the bisected bandit hits the side of the mountain. And Cal, you watch as just like with surprising speed off in the distance, this one last bandit that was up near where Vanya was is just like cresting over the hill and is just gone into like flees into obscurity, and the sounds of your beating heartbeats in your ears dies down, leaving only the sounds of your like heavy panting as you catch your breaths from having to like run uphill. But yeah, you seem to have cleared out these bandits.
What about this boulder that I set off, just to double check? Cause...
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Azakar, there's a big boulder rolling towards you, and
what?
And Alfric, you have this horrible realization that if Azakar jumps out the way, you're next in line. So between the two of you, what are you doing?
Can I cast levitate on the boulder?
Yes.
Let me see if it's one of his new spells. Make a spellcast roll to temporarily lift and move a target in the air within close range of where it currently is.
Okay. You'd have to run up towards it. Hang on, I feel like... Wait, this music's far too calm. We need the battle music back. If you want to use it,
boulder,
you can like run up to Azakar and try to cast the spell.
I shall make haste.
Sure. Okay. In which case, yeah, Azakar, like you're kind of rocks. You're a bit unsteady, but you can see this boulder rolling down towards you. But yeah, Alfric just sort of like runs up. And are all your spells cast using like your violin?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. In which case, there's this really fretting from the violin.
Azakar's just got his scimitar like ready, and then he just turns. Just
desperate fiddle.
Alfric, please roll me a spell check, a spellcast check.
So do I roll this on Gemma Plane or on
in Foundry?
In Foundry.
And that is just normal.
Normal, yeah, the two little ACs.
Yeah.
So 15 from here with fear plus...
plus 3.
So 18 with fear, okay. In which case, Azakar, like you glance over your shoulder because you can hear this frantic, slightly disjointed violin music, and the sounds of the rumbling getting louder and louder suddenly disappears, and like this shadow passes overhead as this boulder levitates up like this momentum keeps it rolling towards you, and Asgard, you kind of duck to avoid it clocking you in the forehead as it goes past. But yeah, Alfric, as you levitate this, you then release the boulder, and like it falls. You levitate it up. It falls quite some distance before sort of like crashing into the hillside further below. And I think at this moment I'll just grab an extra fear for your fear roll. But yes, as a car, in the most unlikely way of avoiding a boulder is to make it float over your head. Very, very good. How do you feel, Azakar? Your life has just been saved.
He's still a little bit bewildered about how he's been saved. But he's going to look at you, Alfrec, and just kind of go,
In which case, yeah. Everyone else who's watched this very bizarre turn of events. But Vanier, from where you're stood further up the hillside, you notice that, like, so effectively the rock that the bandit leader was stood on was just kind of like a jutting rock, and then in the face of the hill is what appears to be quite a large kind of, not cave entrance, but it is an opening into the tunnel. It seems to have been kind of hollowed out to form a den of sorts, and as you peer into this den area, you can see that there's a campfire that seems to have been very recently extinguished. You can see the smoke rising off it. Sat on the opposite side of the campfire are goblin babies. No, sat on the opposite side of the campfire is a Aquan sprite woman with long navy hair that kind of cascades over her right eye, and an Oran sprite woman with this kind of scruffy, short grey hair with patches that just seem to, like, you've seen when you've got short hair and sometimes it just refuses to stay down, like patches of that across her head, and the two of them stare at you, like blinking slowly, and then you hear as they try to communicate to you through the cloth gags in their mouths. And as you step into the cave, you suspect that this must be Capuline and Montana.
Well, considering I would have probably got there quite fast because I'm quite used to the terrain and found these two, after just leaving the corpse behind me, I immediately remove both their gags and say, "Don't worry, we've come here to save you."
And as you remove their gags and you say this, the two of them look to you, and like, you've seen the same kind of gooey-eyed expression on Rayri on multiple occasions earlier today, in the presence of purple tippy-tap shoes. But these two young sprite women look at you gooey-eyed, and in unison they say, "That was amazing." And with that, we'll call it there.
Can I finish it with as releasing their bonds as everyone's making their way? Obviously, my only real knife is my cooking knife. Super sharp, but he's internal, begrudgingly using the knife because that's for cooking. But he's as he unleashes all the binds on them.
Sure. Well,
but yeah.
We'll pick up. We'll pick up in the next session. Congratulations, everyone! on completing the first part of this new tale?
It was a kidnapping.
It was a kidnapping. It would seem. Yes. So, yes, congratulations. You have deleted some bandits in quite impressive manners. And yeah, you found the daughters. Job done. Mission over. What possibly could be happening in the next episode? It's just impossible to tell, right? It's just impossible to tell. So, if you enjoyed this, make sure to hit the like button. Comment down below on what... Comment down... What should our loving audience comment on?
What kind of tippy-tap shoes they would buy from?
Yes. What would your favouriteest tippy-tap shoes from Tippy-Tap Shoes look like? Be as evocative with your descriptions as you possibly can. And to see if Tippy-Taps decides to stock these particular shoes, and to see the conclusion to this story, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications when we release new videos. We're releasing stuff, loads and loads of stuff all the time. Really often, so we wouldn't want you to miss out. As we roll out, one quick chance for another shout out for a certain podcast that's emerging on the internet. If you like your horrifying, and your podcasty, you should listen to the Holmer Foundation, which is a fantastic little setup by these two beauties, Georgia and Theo. Congratulations on successfully kickstarting that recently. You can pick that up on streams. You can probably find, you definitely can find the link in the description and the chat if you scroll up. You should give that a listen. It's like a modern day sequel to the Dracula stories, with lots of extra spoop and some amazing voice acting. Horrors. Very, very good. Well, yes. Thank you once again for watching. Thank you lot for playing. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.